Yo, what is up, Vicco gang? And I am back on my actual setup, man. I was out of town for a little bit, but we're back now. And while I was out of town, man, we actually hit 500 subscribers. Holy guacamole, man. And with that, man, I do have all the prerequisites to launch memberships on this channel, guys. So if you guys have any suggestions on what perks I should, put as for members or anything like that, or if you guys are interested in being a member of the channel, to support, the Gingo, me, that'll be, really awesome. Just putting it out there. I just want to get that out really quick because you guys are awesome and you guys hit 500 subs for me, and that is the best thing ever. Next is 1,000 and even further beyond, but right now I am satisfied, of course. But it doesn't hurt to, if you're not already, like, comment, subscribe. Just might as well, obviously I won't mind a sub still. All right, I'm just saying. I know I'm going really fast, but anyways, without the way, today's video, for hitting 500 subs, I'm finally gonna tell you guys who are my top 10 favorite Bleach characters. Yes, man, yes, dude. Just without further ado, let's just freaking go bang. Yes, I am doing this in a tier list style. I'm gonna go really, I don't want to say really quick, but I don't like to shilly shally dilly dally. You know what I mean? Okay, so right away, bada bing, bada boom. At number 10, I got Shunsui, Hiraku Shunsui. Bro, not gonna lie, I thought Shunsui was all right. He was pretty cool, in the original Bleach, because I mostly read the, not read the manga. I watched the original anime. Okay, that's how I got into Bleach in the first place. I watched the original anime. I skipped all the filler. Still have not went back to filler. Either way, okay, I thought Shunsui looked pretty cool, and his fight with Stark was okay. But other than that, Shunsui he was cool. He looked cool. You know what I mean? But then in the 1,000-Year Blood War, he has really stepped up to be one of my more favorite characters. Of course, as my top 10 now, top 10 favorite characters, because I really like how they did that. I bet it's like a no-brainer thing, right? Obviously, but it's like how he's more of the chill captain, but he's really strong. He's a top tier captain though, right? But he's a really chill guy. But then they made him, they kind of pushed him into this leadership role as the captain of, the head captain, right? And it's just, I don't know, I really like that. I don't even know, it's that dynamic. There you go, that dynamic. And of course, he has one of my favorite Bankai with Katen Kyokatsu Karamatsu Shinju. Yeah, I'm kind of a Bleach nerd. My bad. Anyways, yeah, so Hiraku Shunsui is at number 10 for me. Really shut up during the 1,000-Year Blood War anime, okay? And I am mostly an anime watcher for the most part, but I did go back and read all of, at least the original run of Bleach, up to the original, Aizen's defeat. Or the full bring, excuse me, till full bring. Now, for number 9, actually just went back and forth for me right now between this guy and number 8 right now, but I got Coyote Stark, bro. It's really funny how I have these two back to back like this. I mean, he's just Aura Man. Like, what can I say? A lot of Bleach characters are Aura Man or woman, you know what I mean? Like, it's just what it is with Bleach. He's the number 1 Espada. He's obviously one of the sickest Espadas straight up. With his guns, his Cero attacks, like, it's just nuts. He's adept with Cero, right? And I really like that little dynamic he has with Lillian, how she uses his guns. You know what I mean? It's really unique and really cool. He's definitely one of the most unique Espada in that regard. And I just, his literally exact same thing as Shunsui. He's a chill guy, but he's the strongest Espada though. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of like that. It's kind of funny. And I like how his character writing with it's there, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, well, I'm not gonna say it's not humongous, not like integral to his character, but it's there, you know what I mean? How he felt alone, and he literally was so alone that he spawned Lillian, you know what I mean? Or like, I guess they were technically the same being, or they're technically not Stark, you know what I mean? I don't know if that's how that works, but correct me if I'm wrong. But keep it simple, he spawned Lillian because he was that alone, and then Aizen was like, join me, and then I'll have friends who can actually not disintegrate in your presence, right? And I like that. It was pretty cool. And how he was actually appreciative of Aizen. Anyways, number 9, Coyote Stark. Like I said, I don't want to be here too long. I feel like I can get my ideas out without, yapping forever, you know what I mean? Anyways, bang. Number 8, another Espada. Gura Shifer, the goat. This is more Aura Man than Coyote Stark. Come on, I'm gonna take a wild guess and say about like 70% of you guys, about like maybe like 60 to 75% of you, 70% of you guys probably have Ulquiorra in your top straight up 5 characters, which I don't blame you, man. He's sickest Espada next to like Grimmjow and Coyote Stark, right? Maybe Haribel, and stuff like that, but yes, Ulquiorra is probably my favorite Espada, I suppose, because I think the Espada are very top heavy, in my opinion. I think they're very top heavy. All the best Espada are in the top 6. I could have wished, Noitora and Grimmjow would switch places, but of course Grimmjow is synonymous with his number 6. Like, they just, like, him and the number 6 just go hand in hand, obviously. You know, you just can't separate them now at this point, obviously, since it's been established, you know, in Bleach forever ago. You know what I mean? Anyway, you know what I mean? But yes, all the sickest Spada are at the top. And to me, I think Ulquiorra is the sickest. He has 2 resurrections, you know, and I think his, obviously, his second resurrection is like probably the best, one of the best designs in Bleach. And like, honestly, like, I don't want to go too crazy, but you know what I mean? He definitely has probably the sickest, one of the best designs, straight up anything, to be honest, right? Like that second resurrection, like, come on, that is iconic, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's Aura Man right there, bro. Anyways, that is Ulquiorra Schiffer. And obviously he was Ichigo's foil for the most part in the Aranka arc. You know what I mean? Like that whole like thing, the whole back and forth with him and Ichigo, it was quite peak. And obviously, you know, him, Hime, and him discovering like what is a heart. You know, like oh yeah. Anyway, number 7, the GOAT Renji. I don't care. Renji's the GOAT, bro. I don't know. I just vibe with him. He's just a homie, man. He's the GOAT. You know, it's like kind of hard to explain why I like Renji so much. I think I just like his personality a lot. You know what I mean? He's just, I don't know, like he's Renji. You know what I mean? He's a little goat, you know what I mean? Like, look, you guys can look on Renji all day, you know what I mean? Like, and like it is what it is, man. But I like Renji. I don't know. I always like the how do you say, like kind of like homie characters, I guess you saying things, and I think Renji's definitely one of those. You know, I don't know. He's just the goat. Like I don't know. And I do like how the only thing that was a little iffy with Renji, how he did like he was really had a lot of what's the word, animosity, right? Animosity towards Rukia. You know, beginning of the Soul Society, and then obviously the end of the 2 Soul Reaper arc, and then out of nowhere he kind of he was willing to kill Rukia, you know what I mean? But then like it turns out how him and Rukia childhood friends, and obviously Renji had pretty sure it's, you know what I mean, Renji likes Rukia, right? And but like he wanted to like straight up kill her at first, you know what I mean? I don't know. But then obviously he turns all around and he wants to save Rukia along with Ichigo. But I think it was more so like a thing that like trying to say how like, you know, the Soul Reaper like system, you know, kind of kept Renji, you know, from saving Rukia, you know what I mean, and like stuff like that, right? If I'm getting some of that wrong, excuse me, but like I think I got the general idea, right? Anyways, yeah, Renji's just the GOAT, man. I don't know. I really like him. Obviously in 1000 Blood War, he's been going insane. That fight with Uryu, cinema, right? Like, come on. And like 1000 Blood War, Renji, like, come on. Like, he's the GOAT. Anyways, number six, Diablo, the GOAT. Chat, I don't care. Okay, so this might come from some brainwashing on my end, kind of like on myself, because obviously Chad is another memed on character, probably the most memed on character next to like literally back to back. Like I swear, guys, this is not on some like I'm trying to cut against the grain or whatever like type thing. Like I think I generally do kind of like these guys. But like I said, maybe with Chad is a little bit of like self brainwashing to an extent, maybe, because look. Funnily enough, I think Yamcha's kind of the GOAT in Dragon Ball 2. I love Yamcha. I don't know why. He's the GOAT too. Like, yes, these characters get dunked on, you know, they get slapped around, you know, and Chad more so, it's like he does get slapped around, but then he like pulls up to things, and then like you just don't see Chad ever again. You know what I mean? Like he's just there for real, I guess, is like the thing with Chad. And like I just said, he gets slapped around, but I don't know. Like Chad's just kind of the GOAT, bro. Like I don't know. You just have to like really feel it. You know what I mean? You just have to feel it, and if you like get it, you know. And if you guys don't get it, like it is what it is. But I don't know. Chad's just, you know, I don't know if I'm giving decent reasoning towards his spot here, but I don't know, man. He is just the GOAT. I don't know. Chad is just the GOAT. You either get it or don't get it. Okay. Now, of course, I think he's honestly pretty unique, right? With his powers, his moveset. And honestly, melee is obviously with who else is with Yoruichi and Soifon. You know what I mean? They're more hand-to-hand combat as well. Honestly, Chad is more so kind of like power, like bruiser, brawler kind of guy. You know what I mean? I don't know. I like his. I don't know. I like his powers for real. And I think they're cool. He's the only person in Bleach with that. You know what I mean? He is he's a full bringer, right? Right. That's how that happened, right? Apparently. Anyways, yeah, Chad's the GOAT. Anyways, now for my top 5 favorite characters in Bleach. Okay, I know I've been kind of zooming, man, but if I wasn't trying to like zoom a little bit, I would be here forever. And like, I don't know, I don't like my videos being that long. I'm trying to like get better with it. You know what I mean, guys? If they don't need to be that long, they don't need to be that long. Anyways, bang. Of course, like, wow, who would have thunk? Kenpachi in my top 5 favorite characters at number 5. A weird part about me with Kenpachi is I feel like I should like him more than I do. Like I feel like he should be for real like at least like 3 or 4, but this is how I feel it in my bones. You know what I mean? For me, he is just at number 5. You know what I mean? He is probably the best like brawler bruiser like type character. And I do normally like those kind of characters in these, and you know, in anime and like things like that, right? I do like the brawly bruiser like characters, like, and more like they don't necessarily have to be like, I can say more like a savage, I guess you can say, like Kenpachi, but it's just like in general, you know what I mean? Kind of like a tanky like type of person. I like that like archetype of character, you know what I mean? Even like in like games or something like that, you know what I mean? I do like the tanky like type people, you know. I guess Kenpachi is that, plus he is a monster, and like, and obviously his attack prowess right? And so yeah, I just think Kenpachi is really sick. Like, I think Kenpachi is also another one, like I said with Ulquiorra. I'm assuming a cool like 60 to 70% of you guys have him in your top 5 as well. I mean, and I don't blame you whatsoever because he's just a GOAT as well. Like, and that's the thing with Bleach, man. Everyone in this series is kind of a GOAT in their own respect. Like there are some obscure characters in Bleach that people will be like, I don't know, man. Like that's just the GOAT. You know what I mean? Like let's say like Chojuro. Like there's some Chojuro fans out there like they probably can't really explain why he's up there for them, but they just feel it in their bones. Like I don't know, man. He's just the GOAT. You know what I mean? Like that's probably a lot of people's thing, and like there's not really a lot of nuance to that, right? I'm like, why? Like there's just the GOAT. You know what I mean? I feel like I want to try to like get that across here. You know what I mean? That was definitely me with Chad. You know what I mean? You might be hearing the GOAT a million times. Okay, so excuse me for that, but you just feel it in your bones. You know that you just really vibe with a character, and you don't really need a whole lot of reason. You just vibe with them. You think they're cool. You think like you just don't know what it is, but you just like them a lot. You know what I mean? Anyways, that was kind of tangent. That should have been with Chad, but not with Kenpachi. But yes, Kenpachi is a really sick character. He's just a monster. And, you know, like he's kind of like he has that like the strongest feeling, you know, like the strongest archetype where it's like, oh, you just want to see him mess things up. You know what I mean? You just want to see him go up against things and see how he handles said things. You know what I mean? And I do like that aspect of Kenpachi. Anyways, now for numero cuatro, the Byakuya. Like I don't know. I vary a lot with the archetype of like character I like in, like I said, in like a series or in a game or something like that. I either flip flop between like someone like I said, like a tanky brawler type person, or kind of like the more stoic and like calm and like I don't want to say calculated, but you know what I mean, like they're calm and stoic, you know what I mean? But like they're strong in their own, like they have a reason to be calm and stoic and semi, I guess you can say, arrogant, right? Which is exactly who Byakuya is, and it's just, it works to a T, man. And of course, he has one of the most iconic Bankai in Bleach, probably like a top, like I said, yeah, like top at least like 3 to 5 favorite Bankai for me. It's just like a perfect match, man, with Byakuya's powers. And you know him himself, like I guess you can say the elegance of Senbon Zakura, you know, Kageyoshi and Senbon Zakura in general, his sword, like it's just nuts. It's just nuts, man. That dichotomy, I guess, that dynamic is so good. I don't know, it's so nice. And like I said, the stoic, like it's like exactly what Byakuya is like. It's almost like L's exactly looking for a character like him before I watched Bleach, and he's like the perfect match for that too. Yeah, Byakuya is on my top 4 in my, I guess, my heart. I don't know. And also really like a lot of stuff with him in the Soul Society, how he like made this whole like kind of like turnaround in Soul Society, how he was very with the law and stuff like that. And then, you know what I mean, that entire time it was Ichigo just like banging at him like, hey man, like screw this, you know what I mean, like come on, like he's trying to get through Byakuya for being like stubborn in that respect, in that regard. And then obviously, you know, we know why Byakuya was stubborn with that, you know, because of his wife and stuff, right? And like that whole thing, like why he adopted Rukia, and like and that whole thing is gonna come up very soon, okay? And speaking of Ichigo, of course, the main character, Ichigo, is number 3. You guys may be like, whoa, number 3? Ichigo? Oh, you'd be like number 1 or 2. Oh, I don't know. You'll see. Okay, but honestly, Ichigo, like it's just in the name, right? Like that is his name, guys. Ichigo is his name. No, but like obviously the main character, and like, you know, he's not your typical main character. You know what I mean? I don't want to like regurgitate all those points that you probably heard over the past billion years about Ichigo, right? But yes, the way he is perfectly fine for this story, you know what I mean? And you know, like just the type of character Ichigo is, like he's chill for the most part, but like he knows like he's the GOAT, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, like he definitely has that sauce with him, you know what I mean? It's not really a whole lot I can say with Ichigo that no one has already said with Ichigo. He's just Ichigoat, you know what I mean? He is simply Ichigoat, you know, all his powers. And I do find it kind of interesting how he does only have the one move, Getsuga Tensho, and now in 1000 Year Blood War, Getsuga Jujisho, and who knows what they'll introduce in Core 4. You know, as of right now, obviously Core 4 isn't out. And I just wonder, like, I just do find it funny, I mean, how he only has the one attack. Like, that one attack is, like, so scary for the most part, where it's really, really strong. Like, I've always wondered, like, can Ichigo control how strong a Getsuga Tensho is, or is a Getsuga Tensho, like, just straight up that strong no matter what, you know what I mean? Getsuga Tensho later on, you know, obviously, like, past Fullbringer is, like, a nuke. You know what I mean? It's really funny, especially Jujisho. I don't know, I just find that aspect of Ichigo really funny. Obviously, him as a character just grows and evolves throughout the entire time, and obviously Thousand Blood, where it all culminates into Blade is Me, and like him finding himself. And throughout the entire series, he's like finding himself, you know what I mean? Which I really like as well. You know what I mean? I don't know. Ichigo is Ichigo. We're gonna move on past Ichigo to Rukia Kuchiki. Yes, she's probably the best written character in Bleach besides Ichigo. Like no funny. Like actually, like honestly, starting like kind of like about like what, like midway or so between in the substitute arc. You know, when you see like inklings of like, you know, Rukia, like it's kind of like off, and then obviously, you know, Byakuya and Renji come in, and then like Rukia like is like blaming herself for everything, and then obviously Soul Society, she's like trying to essentially rationalize her death You know what I mean? It's like, wow. You know what I mean? Probably don't even like think about it until like kind of like after the fact. It's like, wow, you know, Rukia is actually trying to rationalize her death. You know what I mean? Which is actually a very unjust thing to happen, but like Rukia is just accepting of it. And but then like, you know, Ichigo's there to like pull her out. Like, dude, like it's just cinema, man. It's just cinema, dude. You know, like there's Hanataro and like kind of like Renji talking to her, you know, every now and then, you know, Hanataro more so, right? It happens, you know, it's kind of like off screen, but like they show it, right? Honestly, Ichigo's just there, you know, trying to help her out. You know what I mean? It just shows honestly Ichigo's character, and then honestly, you know what I mean? Like, bro, like there's a reason why. Like to me, if there's a if I were to put Soul Society as the best arc in Bleach, a lot of it honestly is carried by that like Rukia and like Ichigo thing going on. Like actually, like to me, like that's some of the best. Like, is it character writing? I don't know, right? That whole stuff is like some of the best stuff in Bleach. Like actually, straight up, okay, and that's why Rukia is obviously so intertwined with that. You know, her like self, like I guess you could say like acceptance of herself. You know, like yeah, she has done stuff. You know, like even in the Rank arc, you know, she's like reconciling with herself. You know what I mean? Throughout that whole thing, you know, which I find is straight up cinema. Okay, so there's that. Now, right number one. Who would have thought? Sorry, Zumi, sorry. Aizen, one of the most iconic villains ever in like anime ever, right? Or like maybe in general to some people. I don't know, right? But wow, who would have thought? He's like literally the staple boy, whatever you want to call it, of the archetype of villain. Is like I planned this from the very beginning. Like literally, Aizen is literally the poster boy for that. That's what I meant to say. The poster boy of that. Like he's the one who made that happen, right? I'm assuming there's obviously been characters before Aizen who have done this exact thing, but you know, I think Aizen is definitely the poster boy of the villain that's like, I have planned everything up to this very moment, you know what I mean? Like that type of thing. I mean, Aizen's just like the GOAT at that, you know what I mean? Like probably the one who made that trope popular, right? And he probably is the reason for that. You know, just Aizen is just Aizen. He is, like I said, that stoic kind of character who is a little arrogant, but there's a good reason why they are, because they are like, they're just the GOAT, right? Like I guess Aizen is just the GOAT. Like he can just body everyone, and the only person he was honestly scared of was Ichigo's potential, right? He was kind of scared of Ichigo because of his potential, and Yamamoto, right? At the time, he was only scared of them, you know, or at least a little worried. Oh, of course, he hated Urahara, right? So there's that, you know, Kisuke, you know. I mean, and honestly, Aizen, you know, I said this a couple times at the beginning of this video, but yes, he is Aura Man incarnate. You know, I'm sure there's, you know, a lot of people, you know, a lot of fictional characters out there who are just Aura incarnate, you know, and to me, I do think Aizen is one of them. Sorry, sue me about it. Sorry, don't actually sue me. But you know what I mean, guys? Oh, wait. And of course, you know, with Aizen and him, you know, towards the very end, you know, of the Rank arc, you know, he's actually, he was very alone, you know, apparently. Yeah. Wow. You know, Ichigo felt it, you know, while fighting him, you know, in Dangai, right? In his Dangai, you know, iteration, right? Yeah. You know, it's a very little thing with him. And I do like his burning hatred to Urahara, like at the end, like that final, like speech and stuff right there. It was pretty sick. And honestly, in 1,000 Years Blood War, he hasn't done a whole lot, but what he has done, he has shown out, and he has still shown that he is indeed the GOAT. Don't mess with him. You know, I'm really excited what he can possibly do in Core 4, you know, because, you know, I do know stuff that does happen to manga, right? That hasn't, you know what I mean? I think I've said enough, right? I'm assuming a lot of you guys already know, but you know what I mean? There's still probably people out there that haven't watched, you know, haven't read the manga, right? But yeah, but I wonder if they're going to go even more crazy. And, you know, with details recently, I'm recording this video, who knows, man. Anyways, man, Aizen is the GOAT. He is my favorite character. That's my top 10 favorite Bleach characters. If you guys want to let me know your guys' favorite Bleach characters, go ahead. That'll be awesome. And what do you think about my tier list of favorite, you know, my top 10 favorite Bleach characters? If you guys want maybe like a little bit more, like maybe like I put like an extra 5, you know, who are my top 15 or something Bleach characters, you know, like who's right under Shunsui, you know, let's just, you know, right here, who's right under him for me, you know, if you guys want to know that, I'll totally let you guys know. But yes, this video was more so to commemorate me hitting 500 subs, which again, thank you guys so much for that. You guys have made my life, and we'll go even further Flarkin beyond, man. Anyways, man, let me guys know your thoughts in the comment section below. And with that being said, man, has been yours truly, freaking Vicco, and I am freaking gone. Sub now.